Mr. Mohammed Nazri, 40 years old, is a Malaysian cattle farmer and entrepreneur whose success had its origins in a small-scale family butchering business. Mr. Nazri specialises in fattening cattle, which are then sold for meat as carcasses, prime cut or processed beef, or as live cattle. The meat products are sold through various channels, including his own retail shop and restaurant, fresh markets, and supermarkets. Mr. Nazri was originally supported by the Federation of Agricultural Marketing Authorities, or FAMA, in gaining access to farmers' markets where he continues to sell weekly. In addition to raising beef cattle, Mr. Nazri owns and operates Hsnadaver, a licensed abattoir located on his farm. The abattoir operates with technical assistance from the Malaysian Department of Veterinary Services and has also been able to successfully obtain halal certification. The farm slaughters approximately 2,400 heads of cattle a year and is the biggest cattle farm in Selangor, Malaysia. The business initiation. The family butchering business started in 1977 when Mr. Nazri's father, Mr. Haji Muhammad Hassan bin Man, retired from the army and became a mobile butcher selling services from a cart. In 1985, the family established a farm of 25 cattle, which were raised on a half-acre feedlot. At the time, they were able to slaughter 3 heads per week. In 1990, FAMA advised the family to participate as vendors in an organised weekly farmers' market. The additional business allowed them to increase weekly slaughter capacity to 5 heads. In 1993, they expanded the farm to 2 acres and in 1996 opened a butcher shop which is still in operation. The business was so successful that in 1999, the Hsnadaver Company Limited was formally established. The company board is made up of Mr. Nazri's brother, 2 sisters and himself. He is the marketing director holding a 51% share in the company. The company activities include feedlot management, slaughtering and the supply of fresh meat products, as well as live cattle, sheep and goats. Mr. Nazri and his family have been successful in keeping the supply chain short with no middlemen. Since being licensed in 2002 by the Department of Veterinary Services, the company has been able to employ upwards of 40 staff. The family farm is very successful as compared to other small cattle farms, which tend to keep approximately 20 heads of cattle or small ruminants as part of a mixed farming strategy. Hsnadaver has expanded to contract farming with 7 other fattening farms. These smaller farms maintain between 20 to 100 heads of livestock each. Hsnadaver serves as both a supplier of young livestock and feed as well as mentor to these smaller farmers. The farmers are then provided with the option to sell the cattle back to Hsnadaver. The production and value chain. The company buys young cattle from Thailand for fattening. Hsnadaver purchases these from among 10 farms in Thailand, including farms in Sukhothai, Saraburi, Kanchanaburi and Prachuap Khiri Khan provinces. After purchase transactions are made, it takes another 21 days for certification from Bangkok, and following that, 24 hours of transport to the Malaysian border. There, the cattle will be unloaded, checked for foot and mouth disease, and given a series of vaccinations, which will require a 10-day interval between the vaccinations, during which the cattle will remain in quarantine. Finally, it takes another 7 to 10 hours from the border before reaching the farm. Production peaks twice a year. The first peak is the festival of Hari Raya Puasa in October, and the second is Hari Raya Haji or Korban in December. For Korban, Hsnadaver must be sufficiently stocked 1 week before and 1 week following the festival. During Korban, Hsnadaver slaughters on average 60 heads of goat, more than 200 heads of sheep and 200 heads of camel. For these 2 seasons periods combined, they must have as many as 1,000 heads of cattle in stock. While their products include carcasses, prime-cut beef and meatballs, the prime-cut beef is their most important product. The family sells it through their retail shop, in farmers' markets and in supermarkets. The farmers' market is their priority marketing channel, as they are able to sell more than at their regular retail shop and able to receive cash payments. The family runs a small restaurant called Hsnadaver, located not far from the farm. There they sell ready-made Malaysian food featuring their own products. The dishes include meatball soup, beef soup and curries among others. A major step took place in 2003 when the company began supplying prime-cut beef to a high-end supermarket, Jusco, and a local supermarket called Maidin. In 2005, they began processing jerked and spiced dried beef. In 2007, they made use of leftover prime-cut beef by starting to process meatballs. At present, they are producing these meatballs under a company brand and supplying them frozen to Singapore, as well as for use in the family restaurant and retail shop. The successes of Mr. Nasri include his current presidency of the Ruminant Association. Farmer will sponsor him to go on a roadshow in Dubai this year, and he intends to open new markets in the Middle East. Value chain pricing. The following outlines the pricing of the calf-to-market value chain, of which prices over time have not seen much fluctuation. A yearling calf which cost Mr. Nasri 1,400 ringgit or $437 per head sells for 6 to 7 ringgit or $1.9 to $2.2 per kilogram after fattening at approximately 400 kilograms per live animal. This will yield a carcass weight of roughly 200 kilograms, which will then be sold to butchers at 14 to 15 ringgit or $4.4 to $4.7 per kilogram. 1/3 of the live weight will count as meat weight. The retail price of prime-cut meat is approximately 30 ringgit or $9.2 per kilogram, while Jusco supermarkets offer 45 ringgit or $14 per kilogram. In addition to price, Jusco offers better terms than other supermarkets by providing payment 1 month after delivery, as opposed to the regular 6 months after. The final product of processed meat sells at 50 ringgit or $15.6 per kilogram. Further value addition takes place with the meatballs, of which 2 kilograms can be made from 1 kilogram of processed meat. Mr. Nasri estimates that labour costs account for 10% of overall operating costs, while production costs average 70% and utilities 5%. Company profit therefore amounts to approximately 15%, or an estimated gross profit of 7 to 8 million ringgit, or $2 to $3 million per year. A number of factors can be seen as key to the success of Hsnadaver. These include the initial opportunity facilitated by Farmer for access to the farmers' market, Pasar Tani. This provided the entry point for generating initial capital and for building brand recognition. At the time of Hsnadaver's entry into the market, only 18% of demand for meat products was being met by local producers. Hsnadaver was effective in being able to maximize this gap between supply and demand. They were able to develop the product higher up in the value chain to gain increased profit and lower risk. They successfully built relationships with other small farmers in establishing stock security. In 2005, Mr. Nasri was awarded the Outstanding Ruminant Entrepreneurship Award by the Malaysian livestock industry. Mr. Nasri summarises his attitude to the business as follows.
The key of success is to be focused, have knowledge, and be patient.